Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
What? Oh! Sorry, no.
Oh man.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
Yeah.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Hey.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Yeah.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Wow.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
Hey, good for you.
He's right, though. I don't understand
Oh,
it either.
the wet hammer.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Yeah.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
And that's actually used. Yeah. Yeah, let's find out the truth. Yeah. Truth and justice. Spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
A spotless hammer, duh.
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Nope.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure. How was the culprit able to move around? So how did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Oh man.
Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
Wrong. Yep. That's right. That.
The murder
Yeah.
weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
Tell me.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
Yeah.
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the justice hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We talked about how there wouldn't be reasons to leave it together. At least that's what we thought first, but maybe. But no, there has.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true, it is.
Yeah!
No, that's wrong.
2 murders, yeah! Break.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
I understand.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
True.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Whoa.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Yeah, that is true. Ever made by convenience us, the 2 murders were the same. There's the main characteristic this time. Character must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Hero was really amazing, although, when you think about it, she's also too amazing. Like it's unnatural how good she is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
Should be able to manipulate Fumi who carrying. Right. One person who seems to fit. Oh, Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now.
Yeah.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
You're not British!
Just to be clear, there is evidence
Or
to
French.
That's so.
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the 2 of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the 2 of you were working together.
Fumi counting the screaming.
Shoot!
Embarrassing myself. Encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it!
Yeah, there we go.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh, screw you.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever
You're
laid
not an
eyes on
adult,
the
you're the same
costumed
age as
individual.
us.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Yeah.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
That's what's wrong. It was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange couching man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. He was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Ah, huh? Where was that? They came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. It's bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Yeah.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Whoa, that is true. Why don't we split up into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. Seems they're much more interesting. Tsunikina, you come with me to the nurse's office. We need to capture the suspicious individual to Toko, Bakura, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Oh.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we are on the third floor, everything's going according to plan.
Oh, God.
Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. Did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Stop making
Don't
me think-
bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I must really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of this staying around frightened and confused. We're all gonna die here.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't
Yeah, she's the one
understand
that-
what's so strange
She's
about
the
it.
one that's always
And pay
saying.
attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
So the clear comments doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? Number 3.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
Yeah!
No,
Those
that's wrong.
guys.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys die. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall.
True.
So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imagination.
Yeah, we have imagination! Imagination.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
You don't know that? Other explanations? If there's a picture of the psychic dragging Fumi away. Only other possibilities. Fumi is dragging. Fumi is dragging the subject away.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
No, it's not.
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
That's the thing she can prove. There's no way Fumi is dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Alright, let's see here. Make your argument. Let's see this. Robo.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious,
Yeah!
No, that's wrong.
Did it?
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
True.
Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
So they can bend the waist seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Yeah. Oh, she's sickened by
Celeste
us.
and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Yeah.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Yeah. Oh, she's back to herself. No.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste?
Jesus.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who attacked you? Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about?
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names.
I got it!
Yeah, you said people's last names.
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random
Oh, man.
chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to,
Yeah.
and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Yeah.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
I mean, you're losing right now. Sad.
Well, do I?
Yeah.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
Yeah, I'm wide open. My ears.
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
I still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Oh, I have to do stuff now. Okay. Make your argument, alright. Let's try the Eve handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
Whoa, watch your language.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth.
How's that?
And since you have no way to contradict
No
me,
e-handbooks?
No, that's wrong!
In your face.
That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
You see, this handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Yeah! Let's see what's going on. Closing argument. Let's begin. Let's just...
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Yeah.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
He was 12.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Yes.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
There you go.
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Dead. Slam.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Nice.
The reason Hammer number 4
not
was
nice.
used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that.
Nice.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
Oh man.
He took and
There we go.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned,
There you go.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room.
There we go.
He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Oh. Whoa, what's different? Whoa, what? Whoa, what the heck? Whoa.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Whoa, this is a love story all of a sudden. And complete.
I lost?
Yeah.
I lost? Yeah. When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Completely different. A, 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 B, A, 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 B, A, A. An A! 94 points, not bad. Did it?
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
The right one, because we're good at guessing. I think. Who is found guilty? It's time to vote.
Yay! We got it correct! What? It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct! The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Takio Yushi...
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Fumi's ineptitude was beyond my... I can't read words.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Fumi with all this plan? But you did get him to agree. I can imagine he would be happy agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her speciality, lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then,
Then you did. So did you use, I knew you figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but there's one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. What? Did she mean she's talking about alter ego?
Say what? What was that? What? Talk.
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here.
I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other
You're
words,
the ones who stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
You dragged Fumi into the plan you come up with? Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Fumi a little visit.
What are you doing here?
Actually,
Someone I could talk to you, alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
are you okay
It was
with this?
Taka. You stole it.
So
I have
then,
proof. Would you like to see it? Then I found a usual digital camera, taking you-know-what to Taka's room earlier, and took the pictures. I deleted the picture as soon as I showed it to Fumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he not? How did he do it?
She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for
Please forgive
me,
me, he threatened me.
Oh,
He did?
as for
He entered
me,
my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused
what?
took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime! An absolute crime! I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say
I never imagined he would go that far!
It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was.
I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life.
Completely
Whoa,
unforgivable!
whoa, whoa! Language!
most unfortunate.
If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Planning to use her to escape. He made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean...
So he's gonna try to kill you. I don't even have to voice act that.
indeed.
So all he could keep her to himself.
Completely unforgivable!
That again, language,
Honestly.
please. Can we allow him to continue these barbaric actions?
Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
Good for you!
Actually,
As you join me, it's not so happens. I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. With that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Fumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even a love as twisted as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Where's that train costume of Fumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do is make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why do you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. Oh. That's fair. That's it.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice, so I'm glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough in your parents, though. You're like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your life to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Fumi supposed to do after that, assuming that actually let him live?
Are you okay with
That's
this?
simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, told him to say that he was seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, but he was barely held out. You really believe that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Fumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It seemed very straightforward, stereotypical. I must match the lie on the level of the opponent. In fact, Fumi ate it up. He believed the whole lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
Planned to kill him all along? But of course, there would not been one point of my plan if one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How could a human life mean so little to you?
Well,
It's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
You sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about
He
that.
deserves his pleasure from all the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
And why do you take things so far?
What the heck?
Is it really just for money? You're talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered? That is a lot of money, that's true. But it's not all there is to it. From the moment my new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
but
But all I'm even saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Whoa, obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
You wanna know why?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. Accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
There's no way I could have ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. What was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
Live in a European castle. A castle? Oh god. Goth alert!
This is fine.
Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made my dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
so I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
Sounds so passionate, but you really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
Whoa. Terrifying how different our values are. There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? You realize you're about to die? Aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. That's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. I don't feel death. Kill me however you like. You know, I could be reincarnated if I had a choice then.
Isn't it
I think I
wonderful?
would like to come back as Murray Empty.
Hey,
We just get executed again. Just smiled then. Eventually she did. She looked at me a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills!
I'm done!
Kills!
Okay, it's time to get rolling! The black and disturb the peace and must pay for the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Oh boy.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Okay, bye.
Hopefully you won't be a bad person. Game over! Celeste has been found guilty! Time for the punishment! Let's see what brutal murder we have today. Whoa. Whoa, a castle. The burning of the Versailles witch. Whoa. I like this fake. Or is this real? Now this is just sad. Oh man, she's sweating a lot. Whoa, whoa, what? Oh, it's a fire truck! Lulu just smashed straight into her. It just smashed straight into her. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I can't deny at one point I considered her as a friend too. And for him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone who couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world. And so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez. And here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it all in the trash if you let me out of here.
Too bad. Y'all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is. But that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, Makoto. Don't be mad, please. How long are you gonna keep us going through this? What do you want from us?
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give me the rest already. So anyway, Coco, did I see the rest of the key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So,
hey!
what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? What?
Ooh.
What? Man, oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez, what do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kyoko's body?
What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, these are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
You guys can enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later!
Bye. Screw you. Monaco would just be leaving all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave to you?
so...
Looks likely. Was he in one of the dressing room lockers?
Huh?
What? Then that means... That's probably hid in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss that what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. And we approached the dressing room. Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
We even asked. As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? You're still a risk of a spy, you know. And I'll go too.
What?
You? Please let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, bro.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm going to go to hiding hall, okay?
So Makoto and Coco going together?
Oh god, no! Shush!
Okay.
Had to forget what Hina said. Everyone I did it on hold. Leave me and Coco there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
So
We
then,
need to get into that locker. We took the key Celeste again and unlocked the locker. The locker swung open. We saw.
You really came.
Hey, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Koga sound so relieved. It's like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart.
I just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I may be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer.
Even though Fishy said the case is closed. As far as the incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Koki, please tell me, what were you trying to do all your own here at the school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, it's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me more worried.
what?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared. We didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious people believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... What I heard from Kyoko then was frankly, I kind of blew my mind. That's right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. So I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes. So I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. In the storage closet there, way in the back. She said in the way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Well, let's go in next time! Ha! Lol. Anyway. Wait, no, it's still chapter 3. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish this off right. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Tsukiko told me about it. Could it really be hidden here? Huh. What's this? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet, but then seriously, I placed my hand in the back of the storage closet. Suddenly, I was being yanked in. Gashunk! Same time I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. Had no idea what I was going on. Ba-bump! Fall into the back of the storage closet. Huh? Turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I made my way into the other side. As like Hoka said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet. And way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. Normal desk with normal... There's a bunch of files and volume after volume of years of books. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everyone, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Coats Peak Academy Student Registry? This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a choice to take a look at it, a silver paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave? That's kind of weird. I can understand it, like, I can't leave or you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. A strange sensation. It's like deja vu. These words, you must not leave. Seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What I don't know? What don't I know? Whoa. A strange sound rang out through my head. I felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. With that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ugh. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in the back provided that much at least. It's all gone. The empty bookshelf. Huh, empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? Well, my brain refused to do any more work. The instant pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should head back to my room. Get some rest. My body was heavy with pain. My mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow I made it back to the 1st floor of the school. Ugh. The farther I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, I can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... It's from the vase that I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound, coming from the gym? As it disappeared, I hauled my shaky frame toward the gym. The sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? What's going on in the gym? Show me! I It didn't make a sound as I opened the door of the gym. The sounds coming from Samuel only intense that much more. Whoa! For my fear raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I could not stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this?
How dare you defy me?
This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be Mastermind Spy is... Next Generation Legend. Strandhold Galactic Hero. The end. 7 surviving students left. Whoa. Super Robo Justice present. Well, guys, that was it for this time. Chapter 3 was crazy. I'm gonna be honest, this is quite crazy. Like, Sakura was the spy the entire time? Like, my mind is blown. Who was that person that hit us unconscious? It's very weird, guys. But all answers will be will be answered most definitely next time. See you all next time.